So I want to talk more about the overview and how you need to prepare as we get to this weekend. I know it's complicated, and I know with uncertainty in the forecast here, it can be frustrating to figure out what you need to do. You need to be ready for rainfall. You need to be ready for some stronger winds at times with some of this rainfall. Right now, the forecast is for Sunday evening, a tropical storm, a strong tropical storm of winds 65 miles per hour, and then moving over land and then reemerging out potentially over the water. So again, that's the end of the weekend. Let's focus on the weekend as we get you from Friday and through Saturday and then Sunday. So throughout the day on Saturday, we're likely to see a lot of changes because now the circulation will be moving out over the Florida Strait, so over the water, as opposed to being disrupted by all the land like it is right now. And so we'll watch to see what happens then, expecting an increase in strength, but slowly to about 50 miles per hour from Saturday evening into Sunday morning. At this point, where is it going to be approaching the coast and making a landfall? That's going to be something that we need to fine tune as we get closer into it. Does it spend a little more time over the water? If it does, that would allow it to have more opportunity for strengthening here. Something to keep in mind. If it tracks along the west edge of this cone, that would give it a bit more time over water. So what we know right now, this is a potential tropical cyclone, PTC 4. It's a disturbance that is not yet a tropical cyclone, but has a high chance of formation. What's the difference between Invest 97L and PTC 4? Not a lot, other than it's getting closer to land, and there really is now a need to make sure people are warned appropriately. So it poses a threat of tropical storm or hurricane conditions on land within 48 hours. That's the definition of a PTC, or potential tropical cyclone, and allows for the issuance of NHC advisories and land-based watches and warnings. Here we go, case in point. So we do have a tropical storm warning up for southwestern Florida. We've got a tropical storm watch that is up for the Florida Keys, and a tropical storm watch as well for coastal areas along the west coast of Florida, from north of Tampa and southward through Sarasota into the Fort Myers area as well. So now is the time to prepare. If you weren't doing that before, maybe this will trigger your preparedness here to get going, making sure everything is ready for this weekend. It's not going to be a good weather weekend. We are going to see the squally weather, and we're going to see gusty winds at times. We're going to see heavy rainfall. This is our forecast through Tuesday based on the European model. European model forecast shows a higher amount of rain along the southwest coast, 3 to 5 inches, with pockets of 5 to 8 into northern Florida, and then up off the southeastern coast as well, Georgia and South and North Carolina. The GFS model shows a much bigger footprint of rainfall, much further south, actually. So a different scenario. GFS is a little bit of a stronger system, too. It won't be either one of the models that verify. It will be, what the atmosphere decides to do. And so we use these models as guides to try to figure out what is the atmosphere going to do. Predicting the future is hard, isn't it? So we can give you these warnings and this advice. Be ready. This is the kind of weather you're going to get. Possible flash flooding. We see tomorrow to Sunday morning, especially central and south Florida, especially southwestern Florida. That is going to be something that you need to be ready for. Keep this in mind as you make your plans, your travel plans here. You don't want to be caught out driving in some of these really big downpours that could cause flash flooding. Your forecast on Saturday is especially wet in South Florida. Sunday to Monday, it's farther through central and northern Florida that gets into some of the heaviest of rainfall. And again, could be quite of a washout kind of day with heavy rain, the kind of rain that can be dangerous for driving. We know rain can increase accident rates here. And Greg, certainly rain on a weekend when cars could be on the increase could also be an issue.